There's no evidence against me.
Is this the end of your career, Andrew?
Absolutely not. This case file is empty.
As each day goes by, it's becoming more and more apparent that the case raised against Andrew and Tristan Tate is weak at best. And in actual fact, it just seems like the establishment is really trying to make an example of the brothers, detaining them for what will be up to 2 months based on accusations for which we've seen no evidence of at this stage. It's all hearsay, retaining all of their assets, clearly trying to scramble to find something to pin them on. We even see news outlets preemptively labelling the brothers as criminals and the accusers as victims and survivors, which is done on purpose to create this sort of air of inevitability. You know, they must be guilty because the newspapers have said it. So then these accusations will follow them for the rest of their lives. But what do we actually know? We know that they're accused of human trafficking, rape, and organised crime. And I believe actually they are now victims of organised crime, a case against themselves. We also know that countless people have come out and supported the brothers, friends, co-workers, and even ex-girlfriends, to say that they are not capable of the crimes that they are being accused of.
And here I am again, coming from somebody who lived with him for years. He is not a human trafficker. I am just so shocked, and I'm so fed up with all of these lies. It is so false. It's so false that it's upsetting. Even though we're no longer together, it upsets me because I know the person I have lived with. I know who he is, and he is neither of those things.
I can say now with confidence that these guys are not capable of such nonsense, what police says and news say. I'm Ukrainian refugee. It was Tristan who helped not only me, also my mom and my grandma. On the border of Ukraine, he gave a lot of warm clothes, coats for children, boots, food, everything.
I was lucky enough to have met this man, and I can say that the person that I was supporting through a screen turned out to be exactly as I expected in person. I just had such a positive experience. I have absolutely nothing negative to say, so to see what's happening right now, it makes me extremely upset.
Andrew este un om deosebit, un om care respectă femeile și care tratează pe toată lumea frumos. Am locuit o perioadă de timp în casă cu acest om și vreau să spun că pe mine m-a tratat ca pe o soră și m-a ajutat foarte mult.
There's also supposedly 6 victims in this case, and yet we know that at least 2 of these supposed victims have come out publicly to say that they are not victims. They do not want to be perceived as victims, and yet they are still listed in the case file as victims.
I am not a victim. Beatrice is not a victim. There are no victims in this case, and there is no crime. I'm not a victim, even though the prosecution is telling me I am. I've told them this over and over again, but they won't change it. The election for the new leader of the court has been announced as well, and they are using Andrew and Tristan just to make headlines. The prosecution has no evidence to support their claims, and they will find no evidence as there is no truth to this allegation.
I'm going to show some footage from Romanian TV where we see Georgiana and Luana, who are friends of the Tate brothers and who work with them, actually highlighting some of the inconsistencies in the accusations based on video evidence. And what we see is that the accusation of human trafficking, which comes from an American girl, well, there's footage of her actually leaving the property to go pick up pizza. She's also seen on her phone, so she could have contacted someone at any point, and yet she didn't. We also learned that she booked and paid for her own flights out to Romania to meet the Tate brothers and never told her boyfriend. In fact, he only found out via an Instagram post where he saw her with them. He then contacted her and she said that she was forced to be there.
Aceasta este fata în America, care a spus că a fost sequestrată.
Tristan recunoaște că a avut relație cu ea.
Nu a fost relație.
Nu a fost relație, au fost 2 nopți.
Nu era de petrecere, ea nu a venit la petrecere.
Ea nu a venit nici să lucreze, nici să colaboreze, nimic. Ea a venit pur și simplu sperând să aibă o relație cu el.
Să aibă o relație?
Nici măcar nu a depus plângere. Ea nu se aștepta ca iubitul ei să depună de reclamație la poliție. Ea a încercat să găsească o soluție de scăpare pentru faptul că ea era în România.
L-a mințit.
Da. Și nu se aștepta ca acesta să depună plângere.
Să se cunoască mai bine, dar ea nu a spus nicio secundă că are iubit sau relație sau ceva de genul. Adică ea a venit pur și simplu în vacanță, ea singură și-a plătit.
Primit-o?
Logic, dar ca ce chestie
doar pentru
să
fete
vii?
care n-au iubit?
I'm going to go back to that same interview, but where they're discussing the rape allegation. You should see somewhere on my screen now, in pink, the Moldovan lady who raises the rape claim, and this is footage of her on the night of the alleged assault. And remember, she had originally said that she was kidnapped and then went on to change that to rape. And 2 weeks after the alleged assault, she actually met up with the same group of people to have another party.
Iar aici în roz este fata care susține că a fost violată. Aceasta este noaptea în care susține că a fost violată la hotelul Marriott și aici în timp ce urma să fie violată sau după sau înainte, nu știm exact.
Bă, eu cred că ceva s-a întâmplat.
Dansa pentru Cobra. Dacă dansezi îmbrăcat așa în fața unui bărbat și după spui că ai fost violată...
Ceva sigur s-a întâmplat. Nu știu dacă a fost viol sau nu, dar...
Adică și mai întreținuseră relații sexuale înainte, nu e ca și cum...
Am zis că nu s-a pus problema de așa ceva. Ea, în continuare, până și la petrecere, se plângea că nu este puncte. Adică ea avea o problemă pe chestia asta, că el nu-i ofere afecțiunea, ca să o numim eu așa, necesară.
Da.
Dar în condițiile în care, să fim serioși, ea nici măcar nu arăta ca în poze. Asta a fost problema, adică minți, dar...
Norika Nicolai, who's a former member of the European Parliament, she's also a former prosecutor herself and was nominated in 2008 as the Minister of Justice in Romania, has been on TV discussing this case, and she has some very interesting things to say.
This is Norika Nicolai. You're paying close attention to the international actuality, and also you are a former prosecutor. What do you think about this case so far, and what is your opinion on it after what you have heard here? Initially I thought it's a cover-up for something. But from what I can see, from a criminal point of view, everything looks like an improvisation. Even the judge has excluded the rape accusation, as what the prosecution had on file wasn't sufficient evidence to convince anyone it was rape, so the judge asked for more evidence. And regarding the human trafficking accusation, obviously a very sensitive topic for USA, who is monitoring human trafficking, it is quite improvised, rigged. My opinion is that the authorities in Bucharest simply executed an order. I think it's an operation. More important is to find out what was actually the main activity conducted by the Tate brothers in Romania. Because in no case the $100 million, others say it could be more, personal wealth cannot come from video chat. Of course, Adina is perfectly right. I haven't seen any people being deprived of liberty, being coerced to participate in such activities. Rather, they are some figures who have a certain influence, especially in the United States and Great Britain, who are against neo-Marxist formulas. They have all kinds of radical ideas. Sure, we can agree with them or not, but it seems that someone has given an order to make the Tate brothers disappear from their capacity to influence the public, especially Andrew, because he's the most vocal and has a certain influence on a significant number of the public.
So to sum up here, we have accusations based on hearsay, victims who say that they're not victims, footage that actually contradicts the accusations, and even politicians saying that this is a corrupt case. Let alone the fact that the prosecutors have had hold of all of the surveillance cameras from the Tate estate for the last 9 months, and they haven't moved a single frame of it into evidence because it contradicts what they're trying to prove. The Tate brothers are innocent.
Has the footage from the indoor surveillance cameras been added to the case file? No. We specified the fact that those surveillance cameras have been in the police custody for more than 9 months, and the respective images have not been submitted in the case file, although they could have built a very good element in the outlining of the defense, because it could easily have been observed that at no time was any of the persons in question prevented from leaving the respective house or compelled to do anything against their will. But it appears that the editing, or better said, the attachment of the respective images to the case file was not desired.